Alright, so do any of you have a dog? Well, I used to have a dog. This is my dog now. And why I chose this because it would seem interesting and it's something I've never tried before. And I used to have a dog, looked kind of like that, but she had like a bone signature thing on her back. She was a rat terrier, and she was pretty old. Her name was Jubal, and then she had to chase after that deer. And don't know what that slide is. But my experience of woodworking and like sanding and all that, no experience at all. This was a new thing for me. Had to just go from what my dad thought, because he had no experience with this either. It was just a new thing. Step by step, we had to pull out the dolly and go back to my woods to get like the perfect log. Put it on, strap it down, because it was a bumpy ride. Gotta push it all the way back up. Secondly, we had to plan out like how we were gonna do it. Thirdly, we had to like sketch out a brief design on the dog, kind of like showing out the curves and stuff. Next, we had to cut the wood with a chainsaw to like get it more formed out. And then next we had to sand the rougher edges to get it fixed. And then we had to sand it to make it smoother so it would look kind of like this. And then after that, we had to glue the ears on, which was kind of a pain in the butt, because we had to dig a hole into his head a little bit, put some toothpicks in there, have a little hole in the top of his ear, put it on, and then it just glued on. And we had to sand these ears to make them rounded and look a lot better. Then we had to paint him. As you can see, I went with the classic black, and I had to paint on his eyes. Don't know if you can see that. His eyes are on it. And my major difficulty was the chainsaw carving, because that's not an easy thing. And something that happened when we were trying to sand out this area right here is like the sander thing kind of blew up and messed up his mouth. To fix that, we had to sand that and make it look just a little better. Otherwise, his mouth would have been a little bit wider. And things that I would have done different if I did this again, mainly I would just plan more. And in conclusion, like, you can never plan enough, and I would think this was worth it. I mean, it looks pretty good, and yeah, you should try it maybe.